Yo, what's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy, Joe Johnson.
I don't think I'd understand.
Back at it again and bring y'all some fire content. All right, so let's get straight into it. You know I like to get straight into it. So if I could only do 5 exercises to build my chest, these are the 5 exercises that I would do. And these are really the only 5 exercises that you really need to build a fire chest. You don't need to overcomplicate it. So make sure you watch to the end, get all this sauce. I am going to be releasing potentially a macro-based lean bulking nutritional guide. So you're going to have to comment lean bulk down below, because we know that you can do all this training, but if your nutrition is not aligned, if your nutrition is not optimized, you're not gonna get the results that you want. Right? So the first thing that I would say is incline press, right? So I like to do the dumbbell bench press or decline push-up, right? So building the top portion of that chest, that's always gonna build a nice physique. We know that the chest, and the reason why I always talk about chest, because the chest is an absolute staple for a nice physique. Yes, it's functional, but it also looks really good. My preference is gonna be the dumbbell incline press if I'm in a gym. Even if I'm still in a gym, I'll do decline push-ups. And this is gonna hit that top portion of the chest. Now, a pro tip when doing this incline bench press is making sure that you actually retract your scapula. You got your chest nice and big, and you're getting the stretch and the concentration to the chest. A lot of people don't realize when they're hitting chest, they're actually letting their shoulders take on a lot of the load because they're not opening up their chest and they're not getting the squeeze and the contraction into the chest, right? They're oftentimes here and putting a lot of load into the shoulders, right? So when you're doing, right, pressing, you want to have your chest nice and big. You want to be here opened up, and you want to be getting a nice squeeze to the chest, right? Same thing with chest flies. You see a lot of people, they'll cave in here, right? That shoulder is taking on a lot of the load. Yeah, you might get a little bit of chest, upper chest activation, but if you open up here and you imagine bringing your elbows in, you're gonna you can see and you can feel your chest getting a way better contraction. So this is a pro tip that I see oftentimes is like, open up, get nice and big, get that contraction to the chest, right? Come up, fly, get that contraction to the chest, all right? All right, so the second is gonna be dips, all right? So we got parallel bar dips, absolute staple. And how you're gonna wanna progress this is you're gonna wanna start adding weight. Now, before you just get into doing dips, especially weighted dips, you always wanna make sure that you warm up your shoulders, right? Go into the dip machine, get a good stretch to your shoulders, do it around the world, warm up your chest really well, and then get into the dips. Dips are absolute staple. It's gonna hit the full chest, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, as you get stronger with these dips, add weight. Get you a weight belt, get you a weight vest, and also you're gonna wanna start practicing that full range of motion. Now, don't get straight into going full range of motion. This is with all the chest exercises, whether it be chest flies, right? The more range of motion that you can get, the more stretch that you can get on the chest, the better in my opinion. But a lot of people don't have this range of motion to start, right? You might have the range of motion, but you can't actually put weight into that range of motion. So you want to build up that strength to be able to actually have the range and be able to hold its strength, right? Strength and mobility versus just the mobility or just the flexibility. So that's a pro tip as well, is work on range of motion with strength, right? And being able to get that full stretch, right? Even with the dips, being able to get that full dip, that full squeeze, right? Versus just like partial repping it. Partial reps have its time and its place, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about full range. But partial reps are also very good. Third exercise is gonna be chest fly, right? I really enjoy the machine chest fly, and I use this for a couple of reasons. The first reason I'll use a chest fly is to burn out. So after you do your compound pressing, you're gonna burn out with the chest flies. Another way that you can use chest flies is to actually pre-activate the chest. And I'll do this in hypertrophy days. If I wanna get good blood flow into the chest, I wanna pre-activate the chest, I will do some chest flies to get that chest actually, you know, pumped up, get it activated, and then when I do, you know, the dumbbell bench press for that day or the push-up for that day, I may not be as strong, but I'm gonna feel that pump, I'm gonna feel that contraction way earlier in the workout versus if I did the chest flies after the workout, right? Either way, when you're doing these chest flies, like I said, you wanna practice that mind-muscle connection. It's not about how heavy you can go, it's about really getting that contraction into the muscle, right? So a couple of ways that I really like to increase and emphasize mind-muscle connection is pausing the contraction at the top and controlling the negative, right? Coming here, pause the contraction at the top and control the negative. That's really going to help with the mind-muscle connection, which is really good for hypertrophy. Now, if you're doing strength, if you're doing like a heavy ass bench press, you're not really focused on mind muscle connection. You're trying to fucking not die and get it up off you. You get me? A couple of ways you can do chest flies without the machine. You can use bands. So you can tie up a band and you can do chest flies. I like to do single arm chest flies with the band. So you're gonna take the band, you're gonna come across your body, and you're gonna do the chest flies. Another way you can do it is with rings, right? So you're gonna take the rings. This is very hard, but you're gonna take the rings and you're gonna come in. You're gonna come in. You're gonna come in. You can also do it with resistance bands, right? I highly recommend most of this stuff that you can do with weights, not most of it, everything you can do with weights, you can do with body weights. So you have to get creative, do a little bit of research, but yeah, you can use bands, you can use rings. Fourth exercise, of course, we got the standard push-up. You're never too good for push-ups. Never ever in your life will you ever be too good for push-ups, right? You have a couple of different variations of push-ups. You got the regular standard push-up, then you can do the ring push-up, which is absolutely gonna make your chest just pop, especially if you add that external rotation like I talked about. If you're not familiar with training on rings, I have videos I'll put a video up here, but rings are absolutely crazy for the chest. Rings are crazy in general. You got elevated dumbbell push-ups. So you're doing push-ups on a dumbbell or you're doing it elevated. You also see me do this often during the home workouts. This is gonna allow for a deeper stretch on the chest, right? When you're doing it on the floor, you're gonna hit the ground. But when you elevate yourself on dumbbells or on a chair or something like that, it's gonna allow you to get a deeper stretch, deeper range of motion. Fifth is gonna be the straight bar dip. All right, so this is different than the dips that we talked about earlier. Earlier we were talking about parallel bar dips, right? 2 bars side to side. Now we're talking about straight bar dips. This is going to be useful if you want to learn muscle up. This is also going to be useful because it's going to hit a different part of the chest. It hits the chest differently, right? You have a straight bar here, and it's also more body control in my opinion, right? Being able to do a straight bar dip here versus doing parallel dips are completely different, and it's going to hit that middle part and upper part of your chest. It just hits different, I promise you. Now with this, I don't really do that much weighted, but you're gonna feel it. And I usually like to do this you can do this in the middle of the workout or at the end of the workout, but this is also gonna help with your muscle ups, right? Being able to do muscle ups, explode at the top, or you can just focus on the chest and just do straight bar dips. But those are my top 5, to be honest. Now, one more thing that I'll say, with that dumbbell press, I do love to do an incline dumbbell press with the close grip, right? Make sure that you keep your elbows tucked. I also like to do that with push-ups. So I'll take the end of a bench and I'll do incline push-ups, close grip, right? And again, you're not flaring your elbows, you're keeping your elbows in. And I'm gonna be putting over B-roll of all this, and I'm also gonna show you some tutorials, so keep watching so you can see some live tutorials where I demonstrate it. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. If this is helpful so far, hit the subscribe, hit the like, drop a comment, and let's get to work. Like I was saying as well, you can do all these exercises, but if your nutrition is not optimized, if you're not hitting your protein, if you have no idea what your macros are, if you're not eating whole foods, you're gonna struggle to really get the results that you could be getting, all right? So if you want to learn how to actually build the muscle, cut body fat, build a nice lean aesthetic, comment lean bulk down below. If I get 20 comments, I will design a lean bulking guide and I'll give it out to y'all for free, all right? But you gotta comment down below, but we still finna get this work. Basically, pre-chest day, you always want to do these. Around the world's undefeated for the rest of your life. Stretch out the chest, stretch out the shoulders, get that rotation. Also grab something here, get that good stretch to the chest. Here, you know what I'm saying? Here, rotate, open up that chest, stretch out the shoulders, stretch out the biceps. Something that you have to do forever for the rest of your life. I promise. A lot of people get shoulder pain, chest pains from doing a lot of pressing. This is going to help you not get that pain. This is going to help you prevent injury, all right? So make sure you do these. So you don't want your spine to touch the bench, right? You want to retract your scapula back, act like there's a pencil in between your shoulder blades, chest nice and big. Kick, kick, here, right? Get that stretch to the chest, here. Here versus so you don't want your elbows to be out. Bring it in. All right, so if you want to get the most activation to your chest during chest flies, you want to make sure you squeeze your shoulder blades back, chest nice and big. When you come to the top, you pause the contraction, you control it, you come back, right? A lot of people, they're here, right? Look at my chest, right? Versus my shoulders. You can literally see the striations. Now watch me pull it back, right? Now I'm gonna switch up the angle so y'all can. So instead of being flat on the bench, right, and coming here, right, no. You wanna pull it back, nice and big. Boom, look at the chest. So with the straight bar dips, it's also easier if you do it on a Smith machine because then it's not moving. But again, you're gonna see the chest activate a lot. You feel me? You can see the striations in my chest. Yeah, straight bar dips are fire, especially if you wanna get the muscle up. For the chest flies, you're gonna take a band like this, right? And how I like to do it, this band's way too hard, but I would take it here, right? And then I would come here and I would cross it. You see the chest flaring up? Boom. Boom. I like to do single arm with the bands, right? This is way too hard. It's way too thick. I would use a thinner one, but they don't have it here. But yeah, that's how I would do it, right? I would come here. Look at the chest, right? Focus on that tension. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I don't even need a band. You feel me? When you got my muscle connection to the chest, you don't even need weights. Like I can literally get a good pump to my chest. No weights needed. Literally just pumping.